Just like, I feel a bit confused.
Why? I don't know.
And I feel like I don't really know what I'm doing. My little love, tell me do you feel the way my past days? Where did you lay on me? Can you hear the way my heart breaks? I wanted you to have everything I never had. I'm so sorry, what I've done makes me sad.
take that down just a little bit there. Musical maestro. And we're going to watch a couple of quick clips from the news just to see what they've been saying, right? As you do. I haven't watched the clips yet. I just saw a quick couple. Thought I'd download them for the stream so we can get some visual, indication. And I just did a quick recording for the decode so we can look at the links between the parallels between another show, or what was it, like a documentary type movie, so a docu-movie from 2013, of which I've covered before in recent times. But of course, in light of yesterday, I thought I'd look on it just to see how if there's anything that runs parallel. And lo and behold, you better fit. But oh my god, I don't even know what to say. There's something that links up, yeah. Oh my god, I did not know what word to choose just then. I was all over the gaff. So, right, without further ado, let's jump into this. Okay, let's see what they're saying, right? You're getting fair use, YouTube. I don't want none of your any of your bollocks. Anyway, so we're gonna watch these couple of news clips, and then we've got a visual decode. I'll quickly show you how it links with the Channel 4 Blackout Docu-Movie that came out in 2013. So we'll look at it from that day, and then we'll look at it, of course, with the surrounding situation in Spain. So, from 2024 and of course in 2025. But anywho, without further ado, bam.
Millions of people across Spain and Portugal have been hit by massive power cuts. Trains stopped, planes were grounded, and there was chaos on the roads as traffic lights failed. Internet and mobile phone networks are down. Shops and businesses were plunged into darkness, and there's been panic buying. Well, it isn't yet clear what has caused the blackouts, but a cyber attack appears to have been ruled out. This report from Ellie Price.
Tonight, it's not as dark as many had feared it could be, for this street in Madrid at least.
An hour and a half ago, the light's back, but there are certain neighbourhoods in Madrid that haven't done it. It's been a bit of a fearful day, but now it seems that all is over.
But earlier, this was the metro system in Porto. A similar picture in other big cities as the outage hit Spain and Portugal, as well as parts of southern France this morning. Back in Spain, locals helped stranded passengers as trains literally stopped in their tracks. The entire rail network ground to a halt. This one, midway between Seville and Madrid.
Everyone's sort of been so nice, and anytime anyone's got any food or water, they share it around everyone. So that's been really nice, just kind of that kind of community feeling.
For those who chose to drive, more misery. This is what happened as soon as the traffic lights stopped working. The centre of Madrid quickly grinding to a standstill.
I don't understand anything. I just don't know who to turn to. My daughter's in Barcelona about to give birth. We're going to miss the train to get there and see her.
There were flight delays, cancellations and frustrations in both countries, though Lisbon Airport was the worst hit.
Currently expecting to have to stay in Lisbon overnight, but I have no idea if I can actually even book a hotel because currently places can't take any payment.
Lack of phone signal quickly became problematic for everyone, with businesses shutting up shop, unable to keep the lights on or take card payments, which then meant people rushed to take out cash. Where retailers could stay open, shoppers came to get what they could, the shelves emptying quickly in some areas.
Is it bothering you like this?
Play was suspended at the Madrid Open, including for Britain's Jacob Fernley, as a camera got stuck in the way and the electronic line judges and scoreboard stopped working. It didn't affect American Coco Gauff powering through to the quarter-final though, but it did ruin her post-match interview.
Maybe I just need to not get a lot of sleep.
When the mic and sound system went off. The rest of the day's action at the tournament was called off.
Not with the black woman talking, Blackout.
The Portuguese government has ruled out a cyber attack, but tonight Spain's Prime Minister said all causes would be investigated as he asked people to only use their mobile phones responsibly.
Telecommunications are now at a critical moment. It may be a few hours until we can fully recover electricity, and therefore we need to make short calls and only use the emergency number if it's really necessary.
Things may be starting to look a little more normal for some, but tonight the Spanish government says less than half of the country's energy demand has been recovered. Portugal's main power operator has said it could take a week to return to full normality. Ellie Price, BBC News.
Yeah, just to say, in the last few minutes, we've heard from the Spanish Prime Minister, who said 50% of power there has now been restored, and energy companies are reporting that supplies are getting back to normal in parts of Portugal as well. But today's events do raise questions
16
about
hours
the
ago,
vulnerability of
the next
power
one after
grids
is more recent.
in modern nation states, and about whether anything like that could happen here in the UK. Well, to answer some of those questions, here's Daniel Sanford, who joins me now.
Yes, Ben, modern power networks are incredibly complex systems with electricity generators like power stations, solar farms and wind farms connected to consumers by a high-tech, high-voltage network. But in the 21st century, electricity grids are more vulnerable than they were because of the risks from cyber attacks, extreme weather caused by climate change, and the lower resilience of new ways of generating electricity like wind and solar. And the fail-safe mechanisms mean that when things start to go wrong, there can be a domino effect and a whole network can go down. Spain and Portugal seem to have narrowly avoided that. And restarting a network from zero generation, what's called a black start, can take several days. And our reliance on electricity means that, as we've seen in Spain, traffic lights, petrol stations, railways and airports quickly stop working. Cash points and payment systems can fail, leaving people without a way of buying food. And if the power cut lasts for more than a few hours, mobile phone networks, the internet and even the television networks can fail. Hospitals should keep working with their backup generators. This worst-case scenario would leave people without food or water and with no way of getting information about what to do. So although a massive power cut is very unlikely here, the risk is no longer zero, and according to the government's official risk register, the effect would be catastrophic. That's why 2 years ago, the government started encouraging households to keep an emergency kit at home, with a torch with spare batteries, a radio that works without mains power, and enough tinned food and water to last a few days. Ben.
OK, Daniel, thank you very much indeed. And our Europe correspondent Nick Beak has just arrived in Madrid, and he joins me now on the phone because of the power situation there. Nick, just bring us up to date. What is the latest from there now?
Good evening, Ben. Yes, I'm in a very eerie central Madrid where my journey to this place was really pretty much in the dark. Many lights are not on. You can see mainly police officers and flashing blue lights. The traffic lights that we've been hearing about today, they're still not functioning. In some streets, there is a flicker of light. And of course, this was the day that the lights went out. And for some, I think, younger Spaniards, they weren't quite taken back to the dark ages, but this was a world they'd never seen before. No mobile phones working, contactless payments not available. And if I just describe the scene now, Ben, you've got hundreds of people that I can see. Many, I've spoken to a few tonight, people whose phones are dying, they haven't been able to recharge them. You get pockets of signal every now and then. But certainly, if we're hearing tonight that 50% of the country is getting back to normal, it doesn't feel like it here. This is a massive job that they've got, that they're undertaking. This power went out in seconds, but it's going to take a lot longer than that, Ben, to restore it to what it was.
Nick, thank you very much. Nick Beak there for us in Madrid. Extraordinary day there.
Again, Squirrel Sniper spot on, mate, with those comments, man. I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. Yeah.
But what's been happening in Spain and Portugal? Well, electricity has mostly been restored a day out.
Oops, you know, the way they throw around these narratives, and as you say, you know, they can just try and palm it off as some atmospheric something and some solar flare this, or a cyber attack, or You know, whether it's again the cliche basement situation or it's punting or whatever. And it's just like the way they get away with it, man. It's just too easy for them. Like it's just way too easy, you know. And again, that's just down to the people being none the wiser and just dumb and docile, you know, as we've been pointing out a bazillion times through their own doing. Hoping that they're gonna snap out of it, and they're just never gonna snap out of it, man. It's crazy, man, how they do all these things, bruv. So many things simultaneously, man. They're just how they just take the piss. It's just one thing to the next. You're just trying to get on with your life, man. That's the bit that, you know, that's the bit that really kills it, man. You're just trying to get on with your day and get on with your life, you know. These scumbags, unbelievable. Anywho, let's get to the next news clip.
But what's been happening in Spain and Portugal? Well, electricity has mostly been restored a day after a massive power cut. It caused disruption to millions of shops, homes and businesses. It paralysed transport networks in both countries. The operator of Spain's national grid says power has been restored to 90% of the mainland, but the effects of the blackout are likely to be felt for days. The Spanish power company REE has ruled out a cyber attack as the cause of the mass blackouts. And we've just had a press conference. We've been monitoring from the Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, who said the investigation to find the cause was still ongoing.
We want to understand what has happened. We want to adopt the measures so as to ensure that this does not happen again. The technicians of the electricity grid are continuing with.
And you know what? I got to stop it. Just before I went live in the news, they're talking about, if you go on the Sun News, they're talking about, there was some weird like anomaly surge just before. So basically there's some, you know, investigation going on to some type of criminal activity. You know what I mean? But they think it's more deeper than like a standard type of cyber attack. Something like that I just read. And I was like, yeah, all right. These people, man. My God. Ugh. And obviously I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. You know? And there's a is it a subterfuge, something like that the place is called, that deals with electric? There's big fire going on in the UK today. Westminster or Westminster, some shit like that. Yeah? I'll get back on it in a moment. Let's just get past this quick 4 minutes news, and then I've got the decode, which is just over a minute, and we'll quickly break that down as it goes along. Hopefully, I don't want to try and rush for it because I can't pause it, but I will go over it again if need be afterwards. But you know, it lays it out very easily, very obviously, or obvious, excuse me, to what's going on, how it runs parallel with how they do all the TV shows, and you know, set you up for what they've put out with the cosmic contracts. So at least they've told you what they're doing. If you don't want to cotton on and do something about it, well then that's on you, isn't it? It's just unfortunate. Again, people like myself and Squirrel Sniper, we've got to coexist with these Zombieland variants, which is just kind of excruciating at this point. It's like, okay, the Jesuit order, the Zombieland variants, can you all just go somewhere, please? Is that possible? Can we put you all on a rocket so you can like go to Mars or just something? Come on. That'd be fan-fucking-tastic. You know, that would really help out. It's just absolutely unbelievable. Right, let's do the thing.
But what's been happening in Spain and Portugal? Well, electricity has mostly been restored a day after a massive power cut. It caused disruption to millions of shops, homes and businesses. It paralysed transport networks in both countries. The operator of Spain's national grid says power has been restored to 90% of the mainland, but the effects of the blackout are likely to be felt for days. The Spanish power company REE has ruled out a cyber attack as the cause of the mass blackouts. And we've just had a press conference. We've been monitoring from the Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, who said the investigation to find the cause was still ongoing.
We want to understand what has happened. We want to adopt the measures so as to ensure that this does not happen again. The technicians of the electricity grid are continuing with their analysis of the situation. We heard that there will be preliminary results shared in the next few hours or days. In parallel to that, private companies that generate electricity are looking at their production centres and their infrastructure so that we can gain a greater understanding of what happened in those key 5 seconds, that 5 seconds that led to the full outage of the system. We have to analyze that. So citizens need to be clear on the fact that the government will get to the bottom of this issue, of this crisis. Reforms will take place, and the right measures will be undertaken so as to ensure that this does not happen again, and we will ensure that all private operators, those who are responsible, those who need to be accountable.
Well, that was Pedro Sanchez. Also listening to that was Guy Hedgeko, who is in Madrid, and he told us more about what the Prime Minister had to say.
Well, he was very much there sort of playing up the scale of what happened yesterday and saying what a huge challenge it was for the authorities and also for ordinary Spaniards, and sort of saying how well Spaniards had dealt with that. He wasn't keen to give any sort of real clues about the cause of this, and that's really been the case since yesterday. He's been very adamant that we shouldn't jump to any conclusions. But we have, you mentioned there Red Eléctrica. We've heard from Red Eléctrica, the company that manages the Spanish power grid. We've heard from them. They said in their preliminary report or investigation into all of this earlier on this morning that they do not believe this was a cyber attack. They do not believe there was any kind of interference in the Spanish grid ahead of the blackout yesterday. And they also talked about what they called a disconnection event, or two disconnection events, which took place barely a second apart, just moments before the blackout happened yesterday at around midday Spanish time. And those events appear to have taken place in the southwest of the country and may have been linked to the country's solar power generation. That's what we were told by Eduardo Prieto, who has a senior post at Red Eléctrica. So that's as far as we've got so far from the relevant authorities in terms of giving us an idea about what might have happened. Eduardo Prieto also said he didn't think that this was caused by human error either.
So what about Portugal? My colleague Rich Preston has just landed in Faro in the Algarve region in the south of Portugal, and I asked him what people have been telling him there.
Absolutely massive impact here. It's now 24 hours pretty much since the power went out, wiping out everything from traffic lights to street lights to, in some cases, mobile phone masts. Of course, things like hospitals, critical infrastructure like that, were able to keep the power on. And it's interesting hearing from Spanish officials here, and that's because the Portuguese energy system is so intrinsically tied to what happens in Spain. There's a Europe-wide energy sharing system, and Portugal connects to Europe via Spain. So anything that happens in Spain on an energy front does have a knock-on effect in Portugal. I'm here in Faro today. Lots of very happy people arriving at the airport today who were worried that their flights were going to be cancelled, their holiday plans were going to be scuppered. They were relieved to be arriving here, and possibly as well relieved to be seeing this solar tree behind me as well, just in case the power does blip out again. They can at least get some juices in their phone. The very British complaint that most people had on their mind was that it's
Millions of people across Spain and Portugal have been hit by massive power cuts. Trains stopped, planes were grounded, and there was chaos on the road.
What's up there? Right, let me quickly play this real quick. Well, first up, a whole bag of scripted malarkey going on, yeah? By the numbers. You all need to be in jail. Your ass, your ass, your ass, even the bitch that's doing it on the screen, and your ass, Oprah, to jail! Fuck out of here.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility
is
to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about troubling and irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 This is extremely dangerous to
All right, roll the thing.
Turn off the TV, it's way too misleading. Telling them lies until you believe it. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it.
What are you saying? You couldn't roll it a little bit better than that? Come on, StreamYard, man. Come on, StreamYard.
Turn off the TV, it's way too misleading. Telling them lies until you believe it. Repeat it, repeat it, repeat it, repeat it. It don't take a genius to pick up the pieces.
Give me one moment, chat. And then we'll play the decode bit. Oh yeah, alright, cool. Yeah, that's quite funny still. So yeah, I'll be throwing up some fucking sign language hand signs as well, you fucking cunts. Go on. Right, let's quickly play this decode bit here. I'll try and keep up with it, but you know, I can't pause it. I've got a problem with StreamYard. So we'll play the decode bit, and as I say, if I have to go over it again quickly, I will, but without the video, of course, with the gallery. So again, this came out 2013, and the trailer for it was on September 4th. Remember, we spoke about 94 yesterday, Terror 94, 0 day equals 94. Do you remember that? And we had the 9 weeks and 5 days. Was that from the initial release of the show? Did I go past the 19 already? It might be the Wednesday with the actual trailer date. You had the 19 life lesson. Remember, Chaos 19, the guy from Red Electrica is born on the 19th. And remember, last year you had the Tech Chaos situation on July 19th. And even look on the side there, see that? 7 months, 19 days on when it goes to the 9th of the 9th for when the show was on. And look at that, from the trailer date to the release date. Sorry, to the situation with Spain, you get 41 days. Remember, Power Cut 41. Remember that? On the day of a life lesson of 41. Again, if you're not up to speed, go figure. We went over this, 3 times yesterday. So go and find those videos. We're not going to do it all here now, but just know. I can't see it all here. The screen is zoomed in on my end. I know you got the 4 months and 7 days, right? Is that Mass Blackouts 47? And what was that? Power Cut 47? Yeah, Power Grid 47. You see that? So just not near from the top, and then just at the bottom there, or near the bottom. So again, easy to see how they line this up, yeah? Easy. Again, we went over the show yesterday, 0 day Netflix yesterday. Go to those streams for yesterday. I can't always pile it in and, you know, compress it all and brrr, and spit it all out every time. Yeah, so we'll keep it kind of short and sweet. I might fire up the live anyway afterwards, but and just go through the news. Oh, I want to go over the Leeds thing, the guy from Leeds, the crossbow situation. Yes, quickly. Right, imagine the police say that they got. Did they get the phone call, or they went to him? Basically at 2:47. The veterans already know where I'm going. What day is it today? And let me get a rain check because I know what it is, but I just want to see it. Is it the 190? Hold on. Is it the 119th day of the year today? Oh my God, this thing's just doing a madness over here. Come on. Sorry, give me one moment here. I didn't realize I'm gonna have to, or I forgot I was gonna have to pull up the gallery. We'll just quickly go over this. Take me 2 seconds, and then we'll close out. As I say, I might fire it back up in a minute or in an hour or two. Or more of just a casual, chilled one, or unless I've got more findings to go over. Do you know what I mean? But I just had it. I just did it. And his name is Owen Lawrence, right? And they say that he just in the news today, they say that he deleted himself, right? So self-deletion. So after he's been arrested, yeah. So I don't know how he managed that. If he's got police guard, if he's got to be taken to the hospital, or he did something on his jail cell. I don't know exactly how it went down, but today, lo and behold, is, where's it gone? How have I not got that screenshot? Oh yes, there. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to say. One of those days, hold on, let me get it up so I say it correctly. Basically, with the TV show that we just had up, going with the slides there, with the visuals, did you see the invert date as well? Yeah, so you got the 247th day, leaving 118, and then the other side is the reverse for what happened in Spain, yeah, and surrounding areas, whatever. You know, they love the invert stuff sometimes. Well, a lot of the time, but it's not always like that, but you know, it's just an extra additional there. So, yeah, so this person today is the 119th day of the year, yeah, today, April 29th, and today they're telling you that this person of mental health conditions who they had a phone call at, or they got to the scene at 2:47, and he dies today, or they give you the news about it today. Breaking news in the last 2 hours. Yeah, mental health, the word suicide, the word mood swing, welfare, all equal 119. Again, we've gone over all the stuff with lockdown, you know, and the other stuff that's happened in the world have been going on, and why it's important to understand the whole structure of what they're doing for the mind schism and the MK Ultra utopia that they're creating through your reluctance because you like to sleep and you can't wake up out of your spell. So it is what it is, man. Long. You know, of all the days. So again, there's a code playing out. Regardless of Jesuit stuff or not, there is a code playing out, yeah? There's, you know, that's where you get terms like your numbers up and all that jazz. We've gone over it so many times. Fibonacci, mitosis, yada yada. The Matrix script. Also, mood swing equals 47. Again, the S word, delete your self word, SUICIDE, that equals 47. Mental health equals 47. Also, if you write out mental health issues, that equals 211. The 47th prime number is 211. State of mind, 171. The 171st prime is 1019. Drop the 0, 119. How many days into the year was it today? There you go. All right, let me get out of here. I just had some infused chocolate. I'll say it like that. It's actually Satavia. I got it from Holland and Barrett. It's Satavia, CBD, Satavia, Wizards infused plant-based chocolate. If you wanted to know, it's about, I don't know, $3.99 or something. Anywho, again, I'm talking about bombshell sabotage probe has been launched in Spain into Monday's massive power outages amid a chaotic and often contradictory rush for answers. What you lot all need to get is the ups upside your head, but it's a fact check ups upside your head. Yeah, and you know I got the man to do that. You know I got the man. Told ya. Yeah, he's on hand. He is on hand, trust me. Alright, he is on hand. He's on standby. If you got some of that, I'll send you my address. Have you got some of that today? Have you still got my email, right? I'm back on WhatsApp if you still got my number there. Or quickly join the chat, I'll put it in the private bit and then you can get it, yeah? But have you got that right now? I will get that from you today. Because I trust you. I'll get that to you today. I'll send you the money today instantaneously. You know, digital banking. Join the strict. Let me put the thing in the thing. Hold on. I badly want some of that. I've never had that before. And I always say to myself, oh yeah, I want to get some one of those. Yes, join this instantaneously. So I know you've been about for time, and I know we already was on the WhatsApp and that, but when I came off of Telegram and WhatsApp for a bit, and then I just wasn't on there. But yeah, I'm back on there now. But your number didn't show up. But do you know what happened? Oh, maybe the number didn't save from the chip. Because was I using my phone at the time? Then my phone. Well, right now I'm just using my tablet. But yeah, join the stream, man. I'll put my stuff in the private chat quickly. If you know the place and they're trustworthy, I'll order some today. Because when you go online, it's always fucking America. Why is there nowhere else? Like, what the fuck? I don't want all that sendy, extra long sendy shit. I don't mind it kind of like at arm's length. Yeah, from the UK, bam, yes. All that other shit, that's just extra. Like, what? No. Even though it should be standard, I should be able to go to Holland and Barrett, I should be able to go to my local shop. Like, it should be pretty standard, yeah? Do you know what I mean? Because they like to do their bollocks and regulate or keep, you know what I mean? Or because they can't be asked to regulate it for specific reasons, or they don't want to. Do you know what I mean? And plus, they don't want people's mind blowing open the shackles of the mind. They just want you just docile and stupid. You still there, Squirrel Sniper? Can you hear me? Mic's definitely on. I can see I got a signal. I haven't had a response from you since. Oh yes, that's what I'm saying, man. Come on. Care with it. But yeah, talking about I'm about to head out in a sec. Yeah, I'm gonna sign out. I'm literally waiting to see if you jump in. I'm waiting to sign out. I was just literally reading this paragraph from the news about the BS sabotage probe, the bombshell sabotage. Is the link on your side? I did put it there. Oh yeah, there you are. Yes, nice one. And then dash it in the. What do you record it? Yep. Yes. I'm trying to get some of this shit for ages. Oh yeah, nice one, sexy. Yeah, I'll get at you in a sec on WhatsApp, yeah? Or normal, whatever the case may be, but I'm getting at you. Alright. So anyway, they're talking about alright, top banana, yeah. It's talking about be careful of contradictory stuff coming out because everybody's looking for answers, but as I say, I think we have a good piece of the answer right here. Alright, catch you on the rebound, promise.